I wanted to take a moment and talk about MSPGeekCon. As you know, MSPGeekCon from last year was a huge success beyond our imagination. And we have started MSPGeekCon for this year, 2024, to happen in May, 19th, 20th, and 21, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, similar to last year's dates. The conference is happening in Orlando again, in the same hotel. So if you've been there and you liked it, it's going to be the same thing again. We're looking to get the same experience. This year, we're hoping for a little bit of a different kind of twist. Last year, it was our first conference. We didn't have a real theme. It was our launching theme, or our birthday year, basically. And we were just, it was our coming out party. You know, our core value has always been focused around education and personal and professional growth of a technician and people in general inside of the MSP industry. Historically, we've always been focused on the technical side, where we want to connect vendors as well, but we've always kind of like kept them in a corner of sorts. And this year, and at conference, we've started to explore the idea of treating vendors more like part of the community, because they really are. As long as, again, we want to keep certain things away from the community, some of the bad habits that tend to come out from marketing and whatnot. There are good habits for sure, but we wanted to try to keep some of the bad habits away and get like actual real connection between the people in the community. And that includes both vendors and technicians. This year, we're looking for a we're not looking for, sorry. This year, we're performing the conference under a theme, and every year in the future, hopefully, we'll continue to have a theme of some kind that we'll be embracing and positioning for the conference. This year, that theme is celebration. We expanded the number of tracks. Last year, we had 3 tracks and we had 6 core sessions. Those tracks were designed to keep the breakout sessions organized in a way that will allow you to easily find the kinds of sessions you want to attend. And so the 3 tracks that we had is people process automation, security, and the human side of IT, right? And again, our goal is to focus on the professional and personal growth of the team and help them continue growing in their workplace, at home, or whatever it is. They can take those lessons home and lessons learned and use them. This year, we're adding a 4th track, and it's going to be around the theme itself. One of the things we did last year as well was we introduced our Goots mascot. If you remember, if you were at the conference or if you've seen the pictures, you see the Goots cutouts were all over the place. It was on our slide decks, and it's because we've adopted Goots as our mascot, and that was our official announcement that Goots was MSP Geek's official mascot. At this time, for this year, we're taking the 4th track and we're calling it Goots Choice. It's going to be centered completely around the theme of that year. This year, that's celebration. So the 4th track for this year is about celebration. It's going to be called Goots Choice. If you see it, don't get confused. And the idea is it should be focused on sessions that are around celebration. I want to talk about what that means. Like, what is that celebration theme? What are we celebrating? Hey, hooray, let's have a party. Oftentimes, as in the job, regardless of whether you're a technician or executive or even outside in a different industry, oftentimes we see that we get so tied up in our work, we get so focused, we get tunnel vision on what we're doing that we forget to take a step back, open your eyes or close your eyes, breathe, listen, relax, let it all out, and then get back into it. This is so crucial because as humans, we're prone to bias, and bias can come from within, they can come from without. And the worst kind, I don't know if it's worse, but the most damaging kind is the one that's to come from within, because you don't even notice that it's happening. And the longer you look at a problem, the less likely it is that you're going to solve it, unless you start changing your perspective or bringing a fresh mindset to that problem. And so taking that step back is a moment to acknowledge where you are today, where you came from, how you got here, right? Think about something else. The easiest example or an analogy that I can give you is oftentimes you may run into a situation where you try to say a word and the word isn't coming to you. Like, you know the word, it's on the tip of your tongue, you just can't get it out. And then you can't remember that word, it's gone, and that drives you crazy. And the harder you think about that word, the less likely it's going to come to you. And then you start talking about something else, and then minutes into your different topic, you go, "Oh, I know that word. It's analogy," or whatever that word was that you were trying to think of. That kind of shift in mindset and perspective, taking a step back, switching topics, frees up your mind and prevents you from getting more frustrated, which blocks you from finding that word even more. And that's an example of what I mean when I say internal bias. And so the celebration, the idea is that we forget to acknowledge where we've come from. We notice the hits. The hits take us hard. We fall down hard. We failed miserably, and it hurts. The celebration is like, yeah, I solved it, and you move on. It feels good for about half a second, and you forget it unless you go back and remember it, unless you take a step back and do an assessment of how far you've come. There are other things that we can celebrate as well. So I'm going to talk about the core sessions for a moment. The core sessions are basically designed around the celebration theme. We've got 6 core sessions for this year. It's designed around the theme of celebration. And our goal, again, is leadership topics that will be focused on presenting to you a broader perspective for your growth. And it's going to be high-level leadership things. It's not going to be technical skill, that gets really tactile, or tactical. It gets tactical. It's going to be mostly high level. And so in these core sessions, we have 6 topics that we're talking about. One, we're talking about celebrating yourself, essentially. More specifically, it's celebrating your health and self. You can't help anyone unless you help yourself first. Copeland said it, I believe, when I had that Rising Tide challenge where we were posting videos. I actually don't remember if it was Elle or not. It may have been somebody else. So I'm going to retract the person who said it because I don't remember the name. I just remember the lesson. When you're flying on an airplane and they tell you, right, like, please secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others, right? It's the same exact concept. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. And so the excuse of, oh, I don't have time for XYZ because I'm doing whatever, I'm helping somebody else out, I have a better, it's a greater responsibility to help that person out than it is for me to go get lunch for the day and making sure I'm eating healthy or working out or whatever. It's not true. You can't do that if you don't take care of yourself. Taking care of yourself comes first. And so that's what that first session is, celebrating your health and self. We've got some amazing speakers that are coming. I'm not giving you names. We have most of them locked in, but the names, you'll have to wait for the official announcement from MSP Geek so I don't get in trouble like I did last year. The second session is about celebrating your work. If you don't enjoy doing what you're doing, people are going to notice. If you don't enjoy the actual work that you're doing, you need to find a way to enjoy it. You need to find a purpose for you to be there, or maybe you're not in the right position. It doesn't necessarily mean you're in the wrong company, but you may not be in the right role. So being able to enjoy what you're doing is going to have a significant impact on the type of work that you do, as well as the output of that work. So, for example, oftentimes you make tickets. One of the biggest problems that we have as a technician when we make tickets for outside support teams or with outside support teams is the kick the can down the road syndrome that we get, where the technician that responds back to us from the vendor or whoever is like almost a robot. It's like, oh, I see you have a problem logging into your account. Have you tried resetting your password? Even though your request said, I tried resetting my password and it's not working. They don't bother reading your request. They just send you a bunch of links that may be relevant because of a keyword search that they performed. Like, you could have done the same thing, especially if the knowledge base article is public or available to you. If maybe it's private but available to the clients, right? If you have access to the knowledge base articles that they have access to, you're already searching the knowledge base looking for the answer, and they just do the exact same thing and send you a bunch of links which are not relevant or you've already tried. And we call this kicking the can down the road syndrome because the technician on the other end the vendor support or whoever it is that you're dealing with is not interested in solving your problem. They're interested in making you go away. Their goal is to clear the ticket or to make you to show you up in the system as a touch point. And so they've touched base with you and they're moving on. And you see this often when tickets start circulating, different technicians on a team, where each team member doesn't really care because there's no ongoing relationship or conversation, and they know they're not going to talk to you the next day. Like by the time you respond, even if you respond 5 minutes, they're already on the next ticket, and they're not going to see it till the next day. And it's probably going to be somebody else that's going to respond to you. And so you end up literally every conversation, every touch point in a single conversation is a different person, and you end up literally not getting anywhere, just repeating the same thing over and over again. Taking pride in your work is the exact opposite of this. If you take pride in your work, you want this solved. You understand that your reputation is on the line in this engagement. And so therefore, everything that you do is at a point where it's going to be the best work you can do. You're going to get in touch with that person who's having the issue. You're going to understand the problem that they're having. You're going to try to replicate it on your end. You're going to confirm the problem, and you're going to do your best to fix it, to show, hey, even if I don't succeed in fixing it, you at least know that I care about you and your problem. And you're taking pride, and I take pride in that work that I'm doing, whether or not it's actually solving the problem or just collecting that information so I can get that problem to the right person to be solved. So we want to celebrate your work because it is important and it's something that you should take pride in. The next session that we're going to talk about, that we're going to have on main stage, is going to be about celebrating your employees. This is both from a manager and leader perspective, as well as from within a team member perspective. Without the people around you, you wouldn't be able to do as much as you can today. And that's something to celebrate. We should take note of the fact that they're helping you and appreciate them. The next session we talk about is regarding the workplace, the atmosphere, the culture. If it wasn't for the type of job that you were at, if it wasn't for the culture and the core values and everything that people around you believed in, again, it's extending the same concept out to the business itself. You wouldn't be able to do as much as you can. You wouldn't be able to grow as much as you can. If you feel like you don't have the right culture, or you're not in the right culture, or you don't know if your culture is even the right fit for you, that's a whole different question. I'm not saying every company has the best culture, but ideally you're in a place that does have a good culture and it helps you grow and fosters that, which is even why you would be able to show up to MSPGeekCon, is because of that culture. If you want and you feel like you're not in the right place, or you feel like your culture can use some improvement, feel free to reach out to me. I'm open to a conversation. I am a consultant, but I'm not talking about a paid conversation. I'm talking about just an open, honest conversation on how we can change perspective or help engage changing your culture. The next thing we talk about is celebrating your actual clients, right? And it all goes back to the same thing. We want to take a step back, acknowledge where we are, how we got here today, right? It's the team around you that allowed you to pursue what you can. It's your body and mind that allowed you to get to the starting point. It's the work that you do that keeps you in the game, and it's the people around you that allowed you to do the work that you do. And then finally, it's your clients. Celebrating your clients is the next one. It's your clients that actually give you an opportunity to do what you're doing. And so the biggest problem that when I first started in IT, my goal, my vision was to get rid of that stereotype people have when they call IT. Oh, I hate calling IT. It's so annoying, right? Why do people hate calling IT? One, long hold times. Two, half the time they don't even get to speak to a human. Three, they have to explain their problem more than once. People hate asking for help. People love giving help. They hate asking for it because it impacts their pride. Like, oh, I need help. I'm stuck, right? But we've built this entire industry around providing help and making sure that customers ask us for it when they get stuck on something. And so it cuts in to the person. They don't want to call us, and we have to account for that and make sure that they understand. Just because you're asking for help, it doesn't make you stupid, right? People who are extremely intelligent, doctors, lawyers, and so on, are calling in for assistance on something that makes them, like, it literally is designed to make them feel stupid. And IT has a stigma of being condescending or know-it-all. We roll our eyes at stupid issues, things that we consider stupid, that are not really stupid. And so we should take that moment to acknowledge and appreciate that and celebrate the clients for giving us that opportunity and chance to provide them with help. Because it is something that, as a human, we do love to help people. It makes us feel good. And so they are giving us an opportunity to help them. It's not about, oh, they should thank us for helping them. No, we should thank them for giving us the opportunity to help them, because we get the better part of that and that outcome. And they're paying us to do it. They're our customers. You got to celebrate that fact. And then finally, we have celebrating your tribe. Last year we had Finding Your Tribe, was given by Ashley Cooper, a fantastic speaker, first time speaker, maybe not the first time, but one that she was very nervous about, and she had a lot of imposter syndrome in place, and she knocked it out of the park. And she's back again for year 2 to talk about celebrating your tribe once you found them. If it wasn't for the community, I can guarantee you my career would not be where it is today if it wasn't for MSP Geek, and if it wasn't for the original community, Lab Tech Geek, and all my friends that are on that community. I can say the same exact thing over and over again for each of those things. If it wasn't for my clients that I engage with, if it wasn't for the MSP that I worked at, if it wasn't for my team, if it wasn't for the vendors that I engaged with, ConnectWise and so on, I would not be where I'm at today. And so I have a lot to be appreciative of from all of those points. And that's kind of what we want to talk about when we say celebration. What does that mean? We want to take that moment, take a step back, acknowledge and appreciate where we are and how we got here. And so that's what the breakout sessions are going to be about as well. That's what we're looking for when we say we have the celebration theme. We're looking for breakout sessions that are along the lines of those topics, and different ways that we can celebrate or appreciate something in your life. So with that being said, our call for speakers is currently open. It was opened, I believe, a month or 2 ago, and it's closing. It is closing the end of this month, January 31st. So please get your sessions in. We are doing evaluations immediately after, and we're hoping by March to start telling people who's in and who's out. If you're worried about not having something to talk about, or if you're worried that you have something to talk about, but you're not sure how well you're going to do talking about it, submit your session anyways, and just mark the box saying you're looking for help. Remember what I said about a moment ago? People hate asking for help. They love providing help. They hate asking for it. Put yourself in the shoes of your clients for a moment and ask for help. If you're doing a session, you have something you think is going to be useful, or you want to talk about, you're very passionate about it, doesn't matter, any of that stuff, go ahead and submit it. You don't need to build your presentation. We're just looking for an abstract, the value that you think would be there for people, and some information about yourself. And then finally, again, if you need the help, we're happy to provide it. If you want direct assistance from one of us, myself, Kyle, or one of the MSP Geek board members or admins or MSPGeekCon committee people, we can put you directly in touch with one of them. Or if you're looking for somebody with maybe a bigger presence than the MSP Geek people, for example, Wes Spencer is a volunteer to help coach people on doing sessions, and he's a fantastic speaker. We have that option as well. We can put you up with a lot of different well-known speakers who are willing and able to coach you. So please submit your session, whether or not it's something that you think is going to be good, or whether or not you think you're going to be good giving it, but it is going to be a good topic. Just submit it, and we will get back to you when we do our evaluations. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.